Right. We are here with my friend Jennifer Funk. She is a very important person in my life. She is the Kundalini instructor for Breathe and Receive, and I'm just very, very grateful for you. Hello.
Hello, and I have to say I'm so grateful for you. I have learned so much from Breathe and Receive, and it has been my wake up go to and my go to sleep go to app. And in the middle of the day, now working from home when I need a break and I'm taking a breather at lunch. I listen to a lot of the same ones again and again because I love them so much, but it's been wonderful to have. So I'm so grateful for that. And for you, thank you.
That makes me so happy. So happy. That's the only thing I want in that membership is to just be this container of just massive support and love for every person who comes in there. It's like this ceremony and ritual and just love, like connecting you to your soul's truth, your purpose, your light. So thank you.
Yeah, it
So
definitely takes you away, takes you to your own moment, which is exactly what I'm looking for.
Yes, 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 yes. And that's how I feel about your Kundalini classes. Like I am always so grateful for them because I get to enjoy like the 30-day Kriya that you create for each month and you create this beautiful Kriya that goes perfectly with the theme that's added each month in the membership. And it's just like I take my own medicine all the time, but it is funny to listen to your own meditation. It's funny to listen to your own voice through that. So it's like that Kundalini that comes from you. It's such an awesome gift for me. And I know as well as everybody else in that program and all of your following that you have. I just think you create amazing Kriyas.
They're everything to me. They got me through some of the most difficult times in my life. Yeah. And I knew when I first started Kundalini yoga, I actually started because I had thoracic outlet syndrome. I had a blood clot and I couldn't do other activities, but just the breath work alone was so powerful and the effects were so immediate and so long lasting. I knew that this was the technology. I'm like, oh my God, this is the technology people need. This is the medicine that we need. And I love different modalities, but this has remained for over 3 years, my go-to practice. I'm so passionate about sharing it because its effects are really impactful and they're immediate and they're long lasting. So, what do you need? Yourself in a very small space, and you can do this technology. So that's my favorite thing.
Yeah, maybe we should tell everybody what Kundalini yoga even is, because I know some people don't even know what it is.
It is definitely, people hear the word yoga, and of course, I think Hatha yoga comes to mind and the flow-based yoga, which Kundalini is not flow-based particularly. It's periods of intense movement, and then coupled with periods of rest to allow the energy that you stimulate, generate, and activate to really integrate into the body, into every cell. Mm-hmm. It uses my favorite mantra, which most people aren't used to mantraing. So it is a little, when you're hearing your own voice, and it takes a little getting used to mantra, but also a lot of breath work. And I think my Hatha practice improved immensely once I started Kundalini yoga because I understood the breath work for real, like for real.
Yeah.
So the breath work, the mantra, the meditation, that's all part of the practice is what, it's so many components. And I have to say too, on every single set, and there's hundreds of sets, they're all completely different. So if you try one and you don't like it, try the next one because it's just going to be astoundingly different. They all work on the physical body, but also the subtle bodies. And on the physical body, they really help. They strengthen the nervous system. They all work on the glandular system, which regulates everything. It regulates all of our hormones. So it really regulates how we feel. It regulates the energy systems, you know, the chakras. And so it works on so many levels. Every single set you do is working both on the physical and the subtle bodies. And that's why I think that the effects are so impactful and so felt. It's an experience. It's an absolute, it's your experience. And each time you practice, you get this beautiful experience out of it.
Yeah, it really is. And that's one of my most favorite moments in the Kriya is when you go from the breath or the movement to the stillness, which I mean, so first of all, you know, you're usually given your arms a rest or your core a rest, whatever it is. But also it just, you're pausing and you're going within and you're feeling the shifts that were made. And it's so magical. Just I just don't think there's enough practices out there that invite you to pause and feel it. A lot of it's like follow along, do this, and this is how you do it. And it's just not as often that we're just asked to like, okay, now feel it. Like feel into your own power and radiance. And that's what I love about the Kundalini too.
Yeah, and that's why I feel like it was such a great pairing with your work, because your breath work, that, you know, that's what's very similar about these two practices. That breath work takes you deep inside yourself, for, you know, allows you to experience the self, and not in a thinking way, not, you know, thinking and processing it that way, but by feeling into it. You know, coming to that deeper part of the self that is able to have the experience without, you know, like when giving the mental process a bit of a rest. And so that's why I think that these modalities pair so beautifully together. And if you are, you know, in the breathe and receive portal and you're maybe doing some breath work or a Reiki session, you're not going to be, you know, taken out of that experience. It's just going to add a layer on to that internal experience that you get to have with that work.
Yeah, yeah, it's all complete, just the body, mind, and soul, as you said, the physical body and the subtle bodies as well. It just opens you all up so energetically, and you really tap into how huge you really are. Like, yes, we're here in this physical body, but there's so much more of us and living outside of us. And once
You're
you remember
infinite.
that, it's life changing.
I know. I just got all like tingly and excited as you were saying,
right?
to feel it, because you tap into that infinite nature. You tap into your infinite self. And that stays with you. You know, it's not, you know, I think we use so much outside of ourselves to kind of fill that void, right? To get that feeling, or just to feel good, you know, whether it's our caffeine or our wine or whatever it is. But this practice, I had a lot of stimulants that I would use to give myself that feeling, and this practice has replaced all of them, because its effects are so profound and so lasting. It's something that's pretty hard to come down from when you stay in that practice. Yeah.
And that's that beautiful reminder that everything you've ever needed has always existed inside of you. It takes you away from what society has taught us to look outside. Everything is out here. But no, it turns you back in. It reminds you everything is here.
Yep. That is all you need, is yourself and some space and a little bit of commitment.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So I want to ask you what I feel like everybody is thinking right now. Have you had a Kundalini awakening? Have you?
So it's interesting you asked that, but yeah, because in my group, people have asked about that also. And I would say absolutely yes. I don't think, you know, I think some people, when they hear that term, they think of like fireworks and, you know, some crazy, huge experience. The practice of Kundalini, when it's practiced under the conditions that we practice and, you know, as we're taught, it's a very controlled practice. And one of my favorite ways that I've heard this explained is, you know, you wouldn't take a 40-watt light bulb and, you know, pump in 120, you know, watts of energy. it would just, explode. So the whole purpose of the practice is that we gradually raise the energy, and we do it in a controlled manner. So you're not, I have had moments, if you know what breath of fire is, I have practiced that for about 20 minutes, and you will see spirit animals.
Wow.
You will see, you may see some things. But it's the practice is designed to help, like, insulate that energy, and to move it in a way that's safe for the body. And so, yes, what I love about the practice is that we always start in the lower chakras, and we move that energy up, up the chakras, and then eventually we get to the upper chakras, and we're stimulating like the pineal and the pituitary glands. But it's a gradual drawing up of the energy, and it's very contained and insulated. And which is also, a lot of people ask about the clothes and the head coverings. Absolutely not necessary, but that's why that we wear the head coverings, because it helps kind of keep that energy in and allows it to circulate and stimulate all the your entire organism, again, both the physical and the subtle bodies. So yes, I've had a Kundalini awakening. I feel as if in the years that I've practiced, I think as humans, we're always trying to develop and grow. We're always trying to improve upon ourselves. We are who we are. We have our personalities, and our personalities don't change much. But your energy can shift quite a bit, and your energy really determines how you interact with the world. And I can speak from experience, and I know that my students who practice regularly also, indicate the same thing. It has a profound impact on how you experience the world. So it may not be like a mind blown in, one practice, but you will notice the shift in energy through practice. Yes.
Yeah, that's amazing. I was gonna say something to it, but that thought completely left my mind. Oh, I mean, I guess I do want to ask, why do you wear white when you practice?
So again, not a requirement. Just white. If you think of the prism, it holds all the colors. So it's that kind of totality of being, and it is said to expand the aura up to 9 or 10 feet further than it would go. So we all have an electromagnetic field. That's one of our 10 bodies. So we don't have one body, we have 10. And the aura is, oh goodness, I want to say our 8th body. So, and that electromagnetic field, which can be photographed, we know it's there. It's scientifically proven to be there. That's our first line of defense from physical dis-ease, but also from, as a protector, like from negative energy. That is our first, it's almost like a force field. Yeah. And so the wearing of white, just the reflection of the light and the colors can help expand that, that aura out, so that your personal, protection bubble gets a little bigger.
That's really cool. And so you're wearing white right now, correct? Or is that gray?
Yeah, it's kind of a whitish gray. I just happened to put it on today.
Okay.
Home sweatshirt, but
yeah. Yeah. Do you try to wear mostly white though to keep expanding?
Not in my daily life, but I've noticed that I gravitate more towards it the more I practice. I've never really been a person who wears white, because you think for those who do practice and who wear white in their daily lives as well, when you're wearing white, it also makes you more conscious of your actions and your being, because turmeric doesn't come out of white clothes.
Right, that's very true.
It's another interesting aspect of wearing white, is it does kind of raise your level of consciousness, your conscious awareness of your actions and your movements, and where you are in the world, I think.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, and speaking of being more conscious in our living, I I want to talk about, because we talked about this before we pressed play, and just about the importance of our daily practice, and especially like we are recording right now, still in the COVID-19 pandemic, and just like how important it is to have that practice now. But it's important to have your own daily practice daily, regardless, because it just continues to bring you deeper within to your own self. And like we already stated, where we've been taught that, you know, to live so outside of us, to search for the answers out here when everything is in here already. And so my daily practice that I've had for at least the past 6 years has really just taught me my own soul's voice, the calling of my soul, the truth of my soul, which has then made me be the creator and entrepreneur that I am today. You know, and now I teach others how to find their soul's voice and on their journey. So, what has your daily practice done for you?
Oh, so yeah, it absolutely gets me through everything.
Yeah.
Everything. It's gotten me through health issues, through some pretty intense relationship issues. Um, it even I think what I've noticed through this, this massive transition that we're all experiencing, what's interesting is that it is a great leveler. We are all experiencing in some way, some isolation, or loss of what we use externally to kind of define who we are. So
Mhm.
I think, we get so distracted with the external, and we use the external to define our value or our self-worth. And on some level, we're human. That's just how the ego works. So no matter who you are, or where you started at the beginning of this pandemic, or where you are in it, as humans, on some level, we're all experiencing that loss of the external to kind of fulfill what the ego says, gives us value and gives us worth. So yeah, I guess what my practice, and I'm so grateful that I was established in this practice before this happened, because what it's given me is that sense of internal worth, internal value, internal knowing myself. I mean, that divine nature lives in you. You're divine, you're infinite. To have that knowledge and that wisdom and that understanding and that experience is invaluable. I mean, it's irreplaceable. You realize that the outside is going to be changing constantly. I don't think we're any less secure now than we were before. It just felt more secure. But when we understand our divinity, our infinite nature, those changes are so much less scary, because we realize we have within us what it takes to be whoever and whatever we want to be, and navigate these changes in this new world. So to have that knowing and that experience is probably like the greatest gift that this practice has given me. Other than that, it's an amazing physical workout. And if you don't want to do another sit up in your life, do Breath of Fire. But
When you said that you've done 20 minutes of Breath of Fire, I'm like, damn, that's why she has such a great core.
I have, I realize I still do my morning practice and an afternoon practice, but I've been a little just like doing the basics, so I can feel like the physical aspect, like I can do a little more. But yeah, I mean, really honestly, I think too, what I love about the practice of Kundalini is you modify it to do what your body can do. If you can't do 3 minutes of Breath of Fire, do a minute and a half. If you can't do a minute and a half, do a minute. If you can't do a minute, do 30 seconds. But literally just getting that, if you can commit 3 minutes, if you're starting with 3 minutes, if you can commit 3 minutes of your day, you can profoundly change your life.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it's like just one little step at a time. It doesn't need to be this whole production, right? And I have a lot of clients who will come to me and just be like, all right, I'm feeling really burned out with my daily practice. Like, okay, well, let's take a step back and let's look at what you're doing, you know? And then they're like, well, I wake up and I journal and I do breath work and I meditate and then I exercise. I'm like, woo, I mean, you're doing, it's like a to-do list now. And it's just like, okay, one more thing to check off. And to me, what I think is amazing is to have this beautiful toolbox. And like, this is what Breathe and Receive offers, you know? I mean, it's this beautiful toolbox, like different sections, different themes, like, you know, you need to work on shadow or worthiness or whatever it may be. And then you're like, okay, what is my body asking for right now? You know, maybe it's Kundalini, maybe it's just breath work, maybe it's meditation, maybe it's, you know, a couple of those things. But what's really great is that you get to ask yourself what I need, and then you have that support right there to give it to you. So yeah, it doesn't need to be like this huge thing. It's just one little step at a time. And each step you take, you know, the universe, the creator, God, whatever you want to call it, it takes 10 more for you. You know, each time you show up, you just more shows up for you. It's the ripple effect.
Yes, it grows exponentially, right? I think you hit on something so interesting that also, again, one of those like divine downloads that's just like, here, let me bring this to your attention. That I had noticed somebody else, you know, out there on the interwebs saying that sometimes our self-care becomes almost, you know, our punishment if we're not like we think
Yeah.
we're doing self-care, but that's why I love your program so much. And I think, and you know, not just in Breathe and Receive, but in your supportive communities as well, you know, a conscious community and the Breathe and Receive community, you're so gifted at bringing people to center, to ask, you know, to saying, ask your body, what do you want? What do you need? To really get to know that inner self in such a kind and gentle and loving way. I just want to say I value that so much. That's hard to find. And I think you're very, very gifted and talented at being able to bring people to that space so that what looks, you know, it doesn't just look like self-care, you know, where we're again trying to just fill a void, but it actually is that care where you're really having that compassion for self, and you're able to listen and fulfill that need that your body and that your soul is asking for.
Thank you. I love that so much. Like, what a beautiful compliment. Because the last thing I ever want to be is somebody who tells people like what you should be doing. You know, that's always really bothered me, because we're all so different and we all need our own unique medicine. Now, many of us require a guide to lead us to finding our medicine, but that's it though. It's just you're guiding, not telling or forcing.
Yeah,
We have
absolutely.
enough of that already, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. And you're absolutely masterful. And you can sense that. You can feel that there's no agenda. Like, this is what I'm doing, so this is what's going to suit you today. It's, you know, there's absolutely no agenda. It's just, you know, here's a tool, here's an offering. But your ability to bring, at least me, you know, to that space of, okay, sit with myself, feel into this. Is this what I need today? So powerful.
Yeah,
So powerful.
I love that. Yeah, and I also want to touch on briefly what you said earlier too, about that you don't think that we're any less secure now than we were pre-pandemic. And I love that you said that, because it's so true. Because no matter what, like no matter what's happening on the exterior, we still have all the control on the interior. It's just how are we choosing to show up for ourselves in order to feel into that power. Like, we still have the control over our thoughts. Like, even like right now, we can all choose to freak out and think that our economy is done and we're all screwed and whatever, or we can say, okay, great, we are shifting, we're changing, we're on to bigger and better things. Like, we're getting a chance to look at what has been working for us and what's not working for us. And it's a gift. I mean, no society has ever lasted, right? Like, every society before us has gone under. So I'm not saying that we're going to go under, but I really do believe that we're shifting, we're changing, and it's going to be pretty quick, I think.
Absolutely. And I think, I want to acknowledge that it's very scary for folks who have lost their jobs and whose, livelihoods are going to be changing. That they may not be going back to normal. I think what is so powerful to understand, and why, again, this practice helps you develop this caliber and capacity within yourself to recognize that we are transitioning into a new age, that you have what you need inside to offer value to that new age. And that may look very, very different from where you've been. And I understand that it's scary, and that, things, I mean, we need our basic needs met, right? I mean, we if we're in survival mode, we're not able to think beyond that. So getting to that place where it's like, okay, there's new needs in this new age. What are those needs? How can I be of service? How can I help fulfill those? Because coming to that point and understanding how you can be of service in this new age can create space for your goods, or your medicine, or your gifts, or your services. So just speaking on it, strictly like an economic level, how scary this looks, and how scary it is, we also get to be a part of creating the new world that we want to live in, if we're able to go inside and access that caliber and that capacity within.
Ooh. Yeah. So I just would like, for all the listeners, like, if you don't have a meditation practice or anything, I still want you all to do this. Like, grab a piece of paper and just like write out, like, how can I be of service to this new world that I'm desiring to step into? Like, what a beautiful way to even begin the process of listening to your soul's calling. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
So good. Yeah.
I'm feeling the anahata right now.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So yeah, so I think everybody should come in to breathe and receive. And even if you don't want a membership, maybe you're just interested in Kundalini in general. Jen has, oh my goodness, you have amazing offers. You have an amazing Facebook group, and I'll put everything in the description below. We'll link it all there. But yeah, you want to tell them about your Facebook group and all of that really quick?
Kundalini Community with Jennifer. I as soon as I settle, maybe hopefully around May, I may update that to reflect my spiritual name, which also is my Instagram handle, Ravi Premjot Kaur. And be adding on some other layers. But right now, the Kundalini Community with Jennifer, yeah, that's there. And then, a conscious community, that's yours. I mean, but that's another one of my favorite places to be, that these resources and these tools are available for all, because we should all have access. So yeah.
Yes, yes. And if you are interested in joining the Breathe and Receive membership, it's $25 a month. There's no contracts or anything. So come in. If it's not for you, you can just leave, no problem. Jennifer is an affiliate, so her link will be below, which means that she gets a portion of the sales. So we're a bunch of just like women supporting women. But in there you get, new themes added each month, and comes with that with the breath work and the Kundalini and meditation, Reiki, EFT tapping, sound healing. I mean, it's whatever. It's all of it. Yeah. Your favorite. Yeah. The sound.
The Reiki, and the sound. I love, yeah. And the breath work. But yeah, I just keep repeating the Reiki. They feel so good. I mean, just that sense of relaxation, it takes you to a different space. Yeah. And that's all, it's just to be able to offer that and just provide that space for others, that sanctuary, that space for healing. We all have that capability to heal. You just have to get to that deeply relaxed state. and go. So, get your brain waves slowed down and get your body relaxed, stop the cortisol, and
Yeah.
that's the gift of breathe and receive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much for being a part of this community. And I'm just excited for it all to continue to grow and expand, and who knows what will come in the future, but I'm excited and here for it for sure.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been like the greatest blessing, the greatest connection. I'm really grateful for it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Alrighty. So like I said, all of Jennifer's information will be down below in the show notes. Whether or not you're watching this on YouTube or podcast or even on social, you'll see all the links below.
Yes, and Lauren's information for my groups will be added in the comment or in the post as well. So
awesome. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, we are using this for many different purposes, but it's awesome.
Share the love. Share the love. There's plenty to give.
Mm-hmm.